coronavirus problem. As state attorney, would you be willing to look at the jail population and if, and maybe, dismiss charges or give people credit time served to get them out of there? Or even when the police wants to bring somebody into jail, you'd be like, listen, cop, don't you know it's coronavirus in here? Why are you bringing this man into jail and exposing a whole bunch of people?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I've actually
differently post-COVID because of COVID. It's really going to change the way a lot of things are done.
No, it's true. It's true, and it's going to affect a lot of things. I initially when we started this whole quarantine thing, that kind of crossed my mind about the people that are in custody, particularly the people that are in custody for low-level offenses or nonviolent offenses. So what I did was I actually reached out to the chief judge. I reached out to Chief Judge Jack Tudor. I reached out to Mike Satz's office. Mr. Satz sent over Maria Schneider to sit in a meeting. I reached out to the public defender's office. We had Gordon Weeks in this meeting. And then I decided also to invite Mayor Holness to this meeting. And then we had members from the community. So I actually invited some groups that have been active in this. Chainless Connections with Mark Mitchell. I invited New Florida Majority, Dwight Bullock from New Florida Majority. And I also invited the Quenisha. She's the president or she's the chair of the Broward Dream Defenders Squad. Yes. And so this was the first time they never really had an opportunity to sit in the same room or a Zoom conference, right?
Right.
To sit in the Zoom conference with the chief judge of Broward County, the mayor of Broward County, high-ranking officials from the state attorney's office, and the public defender's office. And so I gave them an opportunity, reaching out to all of these people. I gave them opportunity to hear from these people who are actually close to the people in custody. And to say, hey, you have a lot of people in here for low-level offenses or for nonviolent offenses, and it's just not moving, right? But then on the other end, we had an opportunity to have them, the activist groups or local community groups, hear from the judge and the state attorneys as to what they were doing. And so there was a concerted effort to identify nonviolent offenses or low-level offenses and try to get them out, right? But then you get into the threshold of the people that might walk that line. You have people in there for probation violations, right? You have some people in there for certain violent offenses, right, with victims involved. And so that's where it kind of gets sticky, right? So as state attorney, what I would do going forward, and I think I'm fortunate to say this, I think there could potentially be another wave because our governor isn't taking it seriously. And when you don't have leadership at the top, everyone's going to follow that lead and people are going to keep going to the beaches. I think there could
parties of 20 people and then everybody gets sick.
Right. So I think we're going to have a second surge of this thing. I just don't think we're going to go back to normal for quite some time until there's a vaccine or something out there to combat this. And so we're going to have a state attorney that's willing to, once again, bring together these stakeholders. I truly believe we should have groups like Mark Mitchell's organization, groups like Dream Defenders and Black Lives Matter. We should reach out to those groups, NAACP, reach out to the members of the community. Let's locate some of these people that are in custody. Come to me, the state attorney, and we reach out to the public defender, we have the judge, and we set up a docket, something like a rocket docket or emergency docket. And we address these issues on a case-by-case basis as they come in. I'm willing to tell you as state attorney, when we review those cases and we see that a person hasn't committed a violent offense or a person that we can actually let out of custody and we can have a monitoring system to ensure that, hey, they return to court when there is in fact a court appearance, that they don't pose a significant danger to the community, we can let those people out. But it takes prosecutors that aren't lazy, that are willing to actually spend the time to actually do it. And so I think that would be my stance. That would be the process for me going forward, is be willing to have these emergency dockets that go past 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. And we look at these cases on an individual basis. And if I have to do it myself, I will do it myself. In fact, I'm telling you right now, as state attorney, I will sit on some of these dockets to review some of these cases and to make the case that we release some of these people. But also, I have to be honest to the general public at large. We have to review these cases and we have to be careful. We have to be prudent. But if the facts are there and we can let this person out, right, and if we can properly monitor them and ensure that they don't pose a danger to the community, even if they kind of walk that line, we should be able to give them an opportunity to do it. And I think we should do it expeditiously. And I think we can if we have stakeholders willing to come together to actually make that happen.